small human babies. How are you? I am good.
Oh boy, the world's a mess. Anyway, today is a Thursday, January 7th, and this is In Case You Missed American History. And if you're watching this, that means you didn't make it to class today for whatever reason. And you know what? Hey, that's okay. A lot of things going on in the world. A lot of things to stress you out. So I hope you are well. I hope those around you are really doing great. And I hope you're finding some way to deal with the world as it is. Yesterday was an interesting day. Historically, I'm really curious what history books are going to look like when they talk about all this stuff from the beginning of 2020. I know I'll have to teach it maybe this year to you guys, but probably not. You guys know your stuff. But like 20 years from now, when I'm retired, someone else is in this room. When they talk about this year, what's that going to look like? Wow. So anyway, basically the recap of what we did today, we started off by talking about yesterday. We tried to do some educating without opinion. I tried to go through some vocabulary for people. There were big words I heard yesterday. Tried to share some of the things I saw in different news outlets, some sames and some differences, what you can get out of CNN, what you can get out of Fox, and just trying to make sense out of things, man. It's I'm 46 and I'm a history teacher. And I can't make sense out of any of it. So once we got done with that, we did a little bit of trivia, and then we moved on to this one slide that we're going to look at. We talked a little bit about the current event stuff, so we didn't have much time left, and I didn't want to keep everybody forever. If you don't recognize that animation I've got there, man, you got to look up Saturday Night Live Rap Roundtable. It kind of makes fun of you guys and your SoundCloud rappers. I know not you guys, everybody can listen to SoundCloud, but it's pretty funny. It's really funny. I'm sorry. I think it's hilarious. It's Pete Davidson's the guy in the orange, and I think it's Timothy Chalamet is the name of the actor in the white. I'm not really familiar with his work, but I thought the sketch was really funny. You've probably seen it all over TikTok at this point. If you're big into the TikTok, like when old people put the in front of things they shouldn't. Anyway, reminders, keep doing your work, man. Stay up with what you need to do. And you guys that I sent emails out to yesterday, you know who you are. You know who you are. Get caught up. All right. Ask questions if you need, but man, let's end strong here. We got about a week left, man. That's it. Don't forget that Seeking Empire is due tomorrow. Love to help you with that. If you have problems. So we're going to keep cranking away on the 12 things, and then any other time you have scheduled for American History Today, you can use that as work time. Again, love to help you if you need help. So we're going to look at political machines today by yeet, skirt, yeet, drop that, yeet, skirt that, yeet. All right. You never love me, Mom. If you don't know what I'm doing right now, you need to find this video on YouTube. Anyway, you're like, shut up, old guy. All right. So today what we did is we talked about political machines. And this is it's not a concept you see much in the world today, at least, well, not in the United States, probably in other parts of the world. But there are some terms here that we are going to use along the way that do pop up, and things that, so I'm going to reach for some index cards, and things that are going to make some sense. So what a political machine is not actually a physical thing. It's a group of people run by a political boss, usually a mayor of a city or governor of a state. Most often it was a mayor of a city. And their goal is to get in power of a city, for instance, keep the power of that city, and use that power to make themselves mad cash, yo. All right. So, for instance, the city of New York and the city of Chicago were often run by political machines. Chicago was in the 1960s and 70s. Most places had already gotten rid of the idea. But basically, here's how it works. A group of people use, illegal methods to influence voters to vote for them. And then they take advantage of their position of power to make themselves more money. So I'm going to explain to you guys how this used to work. So let's say for a second that trying to think of some names because obviously I don't know who I'm talking to. Let's say my son Cade is the mayor of New York City. And obviously he wants to keep that spot because that's power position. And he's going to use that position to not only get his paycheck, but to rip off the taxpayers and make some money. So obviously he's got to make sure that he gets himself reelected. And so he hires a bunch of people to work for him. And one of the most important things you could do is in a city back then was get the immigrants who are coming into the city to trust you and vote for you. And so what he would do is he would hire somebody like, I don't know, me. Let's say I'm a German immigrant and I go down to Ellis Island, or in New York City's case, Ellis Island would be where the immigrants checked in. God, I hope you know that. But he would send to wherever the immigrants are coming in, and I would meet the German immigrants, and I'd be like, Willkommen. I don't know that much Spanish. Ich spreche Deutsch. I would speak to them in German. I would welcome them in the United States. I would say, Mayor Cade Siepe has sent me to welcome you to the country, and it looks like you've had a long journey. Are you hungry? And when they would say yes to me, I would offer to take them to lunch at the best German restaurant in the area. We'd have Wiener Schnitzel and bratwurst and sauerkraut. And I don't know any German food, so I'm going to stop right there. And I pay for it. And I let them know that Mayor Cade Siepe appreciates their coming to the city, and he hopes that someday they'll be supporters of him. And in that vein, he wanted to buy them lunch. And then I look at him and I say, hey, do you have any place to live? I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, the mayor doesn't want you guys out on the street. So I'll tell you what, he would hate it if I didn't take you and find you someplace to live. So I'd take him to some junky apartment building, some tenement is the word. And I would go in and talk to the owner, and I'd be like, listen, I got a fresh boat of Germans here. They need places to stay. You know the deal, the mayor will pay you for the first 3 months of their rent, and then after that, you can charge them whatever the heck you want. I'll walk out on the street, go, hey guys, turns out there are apartments for every one of your families, and the first 3 months rent are going to be free because Mayor Cade Siepe is going to pay for that for you. In the morning, I'll meet you at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I will come down and take your kids to the German-speaking school down the street, and I'll take you guys to the factory and help you guys get jobs. Sound good? Okay, see you, great. I go on my merry way. The next morning at 8, I walk their kids to the school. The whole time I'm walking to the school, telling them how awesome Mayor Cade Siepe is. I come back. I take the family to the factory. I get them jobs, doing whatever it is in the factory they're going to do. I set them up. I let them know Mayor Cade's looking out for them, and that I'll stop by at the end of the day. Meanwhile, while they're working, I go down to the docks. I get the next group of Germans. I feed them lunch. I get them an apartment. And then I come back to the factory at the end of the day and go, hey, Mayor Siepe wants to help you get started too. He wants to take you to the grocery store. I take him to the local grocery store. I set up a line of credit. I buy their first bags of groceries. Mayor Siepe, thanks you. Here you go. I let them know that at the major holidays, the mayor will make sure they get a turkey and a ham. I let them know that if their kids get sick or they get sick, Mayor Siepe can help them with the doctor if they can't afford to pay. And when the garbage day is, what the name of the police officer in their neighborhood, who's a good friend of Mayor Siepe, says. And I let them know that I don't live that far away, and I'm always around to help if they need anything, because Mayor Siepe wants his people happy. What do I and Mayor Cade Siepe want in exchange? If your answer was their vote, you are correct. All right, so these people would go in and vote on election day, and as long as they voted for Mayor Cade Siepe, the rent stayed low and the pay was higher, and they got a ham and a turkey, and if their kid hurt themselves, the doctor showed up. But if they voted for Mayor Braun, the teacher next door, his people, if Cade won, they'd get cut off. They wouldn't get anything. And if Mayor Braun won, he had people like me that would swoop in and take over my neighborhoods. And so there was this like power struggle to stay in power. And if you're wondering, well, what does Cade get out of it other than being mayor? That can't be that great a paying job. And it's not compared to the amount of drama you probably have to deal with. But instead, they used corrupt, illegal activities to make money. And this is where we get into a couple of terms we use today. Franchises. So a franchise is a license to do business. Again, one more time. It's a license to do business. License to do business. So let's say your life dream, you didn't know this. I bet you didn't know this, but you'll think about it after I'm done talking about it. Your life dream is to own your own hot dog cart. Let it sink in, man. Cool umbrella, lots of different kinds of mustard, mini soda. You want to sell grape soda, you sell grape soda. I love grape soda. I'm going through a soda-free month. I would die for a grape soda right now. Anyway, you walk into the town hall and do you guys know you need a license to sell hot dogs at a hot dog cart? You do. You walk in and you go, hey, I'd like to buy a hot dog cart license. And they go, okay, here's the deal. We got a New York City license. It's $10 a year. That's going to be health inspections every week. You can only work 5 hours a day. You have to buy your hot dogs from the city of New York. Or we have a special Mayor Cade Seep license. That's $20 a year. You don't have to get any health inspections. You can work as many hours as you want to, and you can buy your hot dogs from any place you want. We'll give you a good neighborhood, and we'll make sure the police stop by every once in a while, buy a dog from you, and make sure no one's giving you a hard time. You buy the Mayor Cade Seep license, you pay double. But then the money, $10 of that goes to the city of New York, and $10 goes into Cade's pocket. He's got to pay for your hams. He's got to pay for your medical care. But also, he's building himself a sweet mansion in Florida on the ocean. Now, you're not going to get rich $10 at a time. I mean, it's not a bad way to start, but let's be honest. We got to make some big dents in the world. And so we're going to use the next thing called kickbacks. Kickbacks are like illegal payments to get favors or get someone to choose you. Now, sometimes in the world, like BOGO, buy one, get one, that's kind of a kickback, but those are legal. Those are within the law. But this next one isn't, okay? So let's say the city of New York needs to build a bridge across some river, okay? Pretty decent span. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be expensive, all right? It's not going to be cheap. And so Company A comes in, and they show Mayor Seep their bridge plan, and Company A is going to charge $1 million. I hope you get the reference. Okay, he says, thanks a lot. We'll call you back soon. Let you know how things went. Company B comes in. They show them almost the exact same bridge plan, exact same everything, except their bridge is going to cost $2 million. All right, so we got a $1 million bid and a $2 million bid. Company C comes in and says, we are going to build this bridge. It's like the exact same bridge. We're going to charge the city of New York $10 million. But if you pick us, we are going to make a $5 million donation to Cade Seep for mayor. So here's our options. We've got option A, Cade gets to choose $1 million. Option B, $2 million. Option 3, $10 million with a $5 million kickback to Cade's campaign. Oh, man, that vacation home in Florida is going to be so woo, because he's picking this one, okay? He is going to charge the taxpayers for this money because they're the ones paying for the bridge. And then the owner of Company C is going to make a $5 million donation. And as long as Cade keeps winning elections, as long as immigrants keep voting for him, he's never going to get caught. Never! And he's going to get away with this. And he's going to have a sweet beach house in Florida. He's going to take vacations to Europe. And he's going to retire in a swanky place. And the question is this a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, if you're an immigrant and you're coming to the United States and you don't have anything, well, now you got a place to live. Your kids go to school. You got medical care. You got a decent paying job. But at the same time, you're contributing to a corrupt system. And tax money that you're paying to the city is probably way higher than it should be, but you don't realize it. So what do you think? What are you thinking about that one? Okay. Think about how that could impact other parts of the world. Think about franchises and kickbacks and how they impact things today. License to do business, payment for making like a choice. Okay. So tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to crank through the rest of the 12. It really won't take us that long. I think there's 5 left. That seems like a lot, but it won't be that bad. If you have any questions, let me know. Remember, Seeking Empire is due tomorrow, and I hope you're well. God, guys, find a way to decompress. Find a way to make sense out of the world, okay? Watch that Rap Roundtable video, if nothing else. It's 5 minutes of pure stupidity. Miss you guys. Talk to you soon.